The kitchen table is a space that represents bringing people together. So in today's spring decorating video, we are going to start off by creating the most beautiful spring tablescape, or in my opinion, it is the most beautiful. But the best thing is that it is so easy to do in your own home. I found the perfect finishing touches from HomeGoods and Amazon, and also scrimmaged through a few of our boxes to add a few spring touches throughout the home. I'm a firm believer that you should feel good in your space, so make your space feel good. And that's what we're doing in today's video. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Michelle. I am a mom of 3, and I spend a lot of time cleaning, getting organized, getting my life together, and when I do, I have time for some creativity. If you feel inspired by this video at all, then be sure to subscribe because I'd love to have you in the community. We're gonna get started here in our kitchen table, which is kind of our dining and kitchen area all in one. It is a main focal point, and after I took down all of our Christmas decorations, it's been a little bit of a blah area. But my inspiration for today came from the fact that we are going to be replanting and creating our own outside garden. That'll be in future videos, but I thought, why not bring our garden inside? So we are going to be creating a tulip garden tablescape. And you should definitely try this next time you're hosting. But before I get started, I am going to whip up a quick brunch using my new Graza olive oil, and a big thanks to Graza for sponsoring today's video. Graza is a perfect household staple, not just because it tastes freaking delicious, but because it is the highest quality olive oil at an affordable everyday price. There are 2 types for different uses. The Sizzle is extra virgin cooking oil made from mature mid-season olives that yield a more mellow flavor. You can use it on a pan when heating up eggs, cooking on the grill, flavoring sheet veggies, and much more. Next, the Drizzle finishing oil is made from olives that are picked early when the flavor is bold and antioxidants are the highest. This oil is made for eating, and you can use it on salads, pastas, you can use it as a dip, or my favorite, on avocado toast. And I love that if you run out of olive oil, there's no need to buy a new bottle. Simply grab a refill can from their website or your local Whole Foods, and it's an easy way to refill your bottles. They cost way less money than the fancy stuff, and it's always fresh and never blended. They're made from one kind of olive from one location in Spain, where over half of the world's olive oil is made. My favorite thing about Graza is their authenticity about the products, and that it comes in a squeeze bottle that is super easy for squeezing, drizzling, and everything in between. It gives you just the right amount of olive oil when you need it. And the taste is absolutely amazing. To taste this amazing olive oil for yourself, then scan the QR code on the screen or use a link in my description. Then use the code Michelle10 to get 10% off your order. All right, so to get started on the tablescape, the first thing that you're gonna need is obviously some tulips. I didn't know how much I would need, so I headed over to Trader Joe's because they have just beautiful flower bouquets, and I grabbed 3 colors: yellow, purple, and pink. They had all different colors like red and stuff, but I felt like those colors went together the best. I also grabbed a green hydrangea. I ended up not using it, and then some white baby breath to use as fillers. I was looking for all of these little glass vases so that it's not just like one bouquet, but it's several different bouquets. I originally went to the dollar store and they only had about 3 of them. So I decided to hop on Amazon and see if I could buy some in bulk. So this set came with 22 glass vases. I think it was $30 for the whole set. And the size of these vases ranged between 3 to 5 inches. As I'm pulling them out, I'm seeing what each vase looks like. I have that long wooden tray you can see in the background, and my plan is to put the vases on that wooden tray to keep the centerpiece contained. That just makes it easy to move if I need to move it around and I'm not having to move like 27 different small vases. You can totally just have them spread out along your table and then add a cute little like table runner around it or underneath it. But for me, because I have small kids and my 2-year-old likes to grab things from the center, I just like to slide it down, let him eat, and then I can slide it back in place. That way he's not touching and grabbing everything. Also, when creating a tablescape, I like to have things lower to the table opposed to like having these big extravagant centerpieces, only because whenever you're eating, you can see the person across from you without having to move everything around. So that way when you're hosting, you can enjoy the centerpiece and the company around you. Next, I'm just taking all of the vases and scattering them around, making sure that I have different heights in different areas so that not all of the 5-inch vases are together and all of the 3-inch vases are together, because this is going to be more of a collage type centerpiece. Now, if you wanted to like highlight something in the middle, you could do all of your taller vases in the middle and then gradually have them go down. But for me, it's just going to be a mix and match process. Keep it easy as possible. Now, I originally got this idea from Meghan Markle's new Netflix series, With Love, Meghan. So I started watching one of the first episodes, and she was creating this little gift basket, and she had a couple of these small vases and put just a couple flowers in there. And I was like, that would be just a great centerpiece if I had a bunch of them together and then mixed and matched different flowers. So my next goal is going to be to carry all of these vases to the sink and fill them up with water. I wanted to make sure that I had enough and I could fill the whole space before I started filling them up with water and placing them everywhere. So we are going to do that next. So over the last couple of months, I've really enjoyed decorating. So I appreciate y'all who also enjoy these decorating videos. Now, one thing or one way I really get in my head about is making everything look like picture perfect. I had 2 other ideas that I was going to run with. I was so excited about. I had gotten some inspiration on Instagram, and then I saw other people posting the exact same thing. So I felt pretty uninspired, considering I've been also feeling like I've been creatively blocked. And whenever, part of your channel is about creativity, it makes it a little bit difficult. But I went back to the drawing board. I went to Home Goods to try and find placemats. I was actually looking for just like green plain placemats, and I ended up finding like hidden underneath a bunch of stuff was these beautiful tulip placemats that were yellow, pink, and purple, along with little bees around them. And then I instantly got inspired for this particular table piece or centerpiece. And then the base idea came from that Netflix show I already said. So what we are going to do here next is I am going to start cutting up the tulips and placing them in individual jars. I totally guessed on how many bouquets I would need it. I thought that I would run out, but I didn't. Because the jars have such a small opening, I could really only fit 2 stems in each jar. And I decided to just, if I did do 2 stems in one jar, I kept them the same color. I also mixed and matched the colors. Like I didn't do all yellow on one side, all purple in the middle, and all, how you can kind of color coordinate or create patterns. I just simply went with it, and we'll see how it turns out. Now, I know I keep saying this, but this was so easy to do. In fact, for my Easter tablescape, I'm just going to simply swap out all of the flowers and then add some Easter bunnies and some cute little stuff in here. Now, if you're not like, or if you don't feel like you're great at specific flower arrangements, which for me, I think I overthink it and I can make it good, but it takes me a long time to finally get it right. This takes all of the work out of it, and you just simply put one flower in one vase and just kind of mix and match them around. So let's see what we come up with. So let me know what you guys think. I think it's already turning out so pretty. And the next thing I'm gonna do is add in this baby's breath in between to kind of fill out the rest of the garden. I mean, it looks like a garden, but the tablescape. And luckily, the stems of these are super thin, so I could get them in easily in between the tulips. For this spring, I have been loving the French cottage vibe. And in fact, in either next week's or the following week's video, I am going to be redoing all of the flower beds in on our patio area, and it's going to be totally French country inspired or French cottage inspired. We also just purchased some garden boxes, and we are going to be creating a big vegetable garden in our backyard. We've been kind of mapping out the areas. If you have been following me for at least since last year, you'll know that we created our own flower boxes, and then we ended up, basically the season was over, we planted some flowers in there, and then we ended up moving out. So in this house, we are ready to get our garden or our vegetable garden started. But my flower arrangement or my centerpiece is completed, and I found the cutest little bee fairy lights on Amazon. I have so many regular fairy lights, and I was just going to use traditional fairy lights. But it's like the details matter so much that I thought it would be so cute to use these little bee lights. So instead of putting these lights kind of at the bottom of the arrangement, I'm going to droop them over the top. I started putting them on the bottom, and then I was like, these are little bees. They need to be swarming around the flowers, sucking nectar, or, pretending like. So I kind of placed them on the top of the flowers just so that it looks like they are flying around. So I am just about done with the centerpiece. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. And also if you are going to try this at home. So now that the centerpiece is done, next I'm going to set the table. And I do realize that I don't have, any plates or anything to make a beautiful table setting. In the past, I borrowed some from my mom, but I went to Home Goods and I found these really, really cute plates. And the best thing about them is they're plastic. I know that a lot of people don't like plastic, but with my kids, it just makes it so much easier. In fact, after this whole table setting was done, Chris came home and picked up my son, and he ran straight over to the table and grabbed a plate. And Chris was like, I freaked out. And then I realized they were plastic, and we were like, thankfully. So anyway, these are my placemats that inspired the whole table inspiration. They have purple, yellow, and pink tulips along with little bees flying around. And I'm so glad that I found them, and they ultimately helped inspire this video. And next I got, that picture frame's upside down. There we go. This cute little hummingbird. I just thought that was cute. I think I'm going to put it in my cabinet. It's not like too over the top. It's just like simple and pretty. I got some more of these plates in different sizes. And then another thing I got were these pretty glasses. Unfortunately, they are glass. I mean, it's good. It's good and bad, but with kids, you know what I mean. But these were on display and I needed 8 and there was exactly 8 of them. And I thought the color was pretty. And because most of my table setting, my plates, there's no decorations on my plates, I purposely did that so that I could reuse these for all different seasons. And since we are going with the bumblebee theme, aren't these the cutest little napkin rings? I couldn't find any that had a tulip on them, but I just thought these were so cute and just add that extra detail to the space. It's not like over the top detail. It's like the simple detail that makes it like all come together. So while I was putting all of this together, the girls were playing outside, and when they came in, they were like, Mom, this is the most beautiful centerpiece ever. They like went and got the neighbors, and like it was so cute. They absolutely loved it, and it just made me realize that the space that we're in, like it needs to feel good, not only for me, not only just because I like creativity, but for the whole family. So I was excited that this brought like so much. It sounds so, I don't know, over the top, but it brought so much joy to the family. But next we are going to set the table. All right, so here is the final tablescape. I didn't put the silverware out. I only have, in matching silverware, a set of 6 instead of 8, so just bear with me there. But here is the final tablescape. Let me know what you guys think. Unless you don't like it, you don't have to let me know. You know I'm going to say that. But anyway, I think it turned out so cute, so pretty, and y'all, it literally is so easy. All right, so the final portion of the video, I am going to add in some floral arrangements throughout the house. I went and pulled out our bucket full of spring decorating items, and now I'm just sorting through to see which arrangements I want. Now, in the last year, I have been really loving adding real flowers, real floral throughout the house. So I am not going to use all of the flowers that I have. I used to have a bunch of fake flowers in the front, from the front porch. And I think this year I'm going to do real arrangements. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to do real flower pots to make it like French cottage, also on our patio. And then obviously I can't do a whole lot of real stuff because, like, for example, in this cabinet, my real flowers, they were dying. So it does help to have some, like, a mix and match of, what you can handle. So this floral arrangement, I usually put like on a coffee table, but this cabinet doesn't have a whole lot of color besides green, and spring to me is about incorporating a lot of bright colors, or even if they're like muted colors, but they're still spring colors. So I'm going to kind of work around in here and add some more color in this cabinet. Now, there's my air plant. It's dying. I've taken it out. I've researched how to keep it alive. I've sprayed water on it. I've given it fresh air, and it's still it's not making it. So I bought another one, and then I'm going to put that one outside to see if that helps it give it more air. And that's what I'm talking about between the real and fake, and like doing what you can. Now, I'm newer at taking care of houseplants. I'm not a houseplant expert. I'm just now incorporating them into my home a lot more, and I'm enjoying them. So again, bear with me while I learn how to basically keep them alive. So here I didn't change a whole lot. I'm not going like over the top with spring decor, but for Easter, I am going to come back in here and add some cute little books and bunnies and whatever else I find. So here in the living room, I just redecorated this space a couple of weeks ago, and one of the comments was to get a bigger lamp. And y'all, I found this one at HomeGoods, and I loved it. So I do appreciate the comments about that. I was using a lamp that I had already had, and the best thing about it is it was on clearance, so I immediately snagged it. I love the colors. It just flows so well in this area. Another comment was to try and raise it up, so I am going to be adding a book underneath it. And then I am going to also be taking out one of those flower arrangements and then adding some spring cherry blossoms. The book that I put underneath the table I got for Christmas. I love Disney, so my niece got me this cute coffee table book. I know that it is shiny, but I just like it over here. I'll probably change it out later and then use my book elsewhere, but I'm just going to do that for now. So these cherry blossom faux flowers are from Amazon, or the majority of them are from Amazon, and then the ones that stick straight up there on the left are from Target. But the ones from Amazon are on the right if you're looking at the screen, and they're just so pretty. I have used them for several years. Sometimes the leaves do fall off a little bit easily, but those are by far my favorites. I've had some from Hobby Lobby, from Target, and then those ones are the best. I'm going to be adding them to the vase over here. Since these kind of droop sideways, I'm going to start with those first, and then I'm going to use the ones that I have from Target as a filler to give it more height in the back. All right, so here's this space. Let me know what you guys think. The last thing I'm going to do is add a very simple flower arrangement right here on the kitchen island. It's just going to consist of 2 different types of flowers. These ones, they're all from Hobby Lobby, even the vases from Hobby Lobby from at least 1 to 2 years ago. And I'm going to use these to kind of create I like to say waterfall effect. I don't know what it's really called, but it kind of like spews outward like a waterfall, and then add these hydrangeas in the middle. I'm keeping this area kind of simple because I have a really cool Easter DIY vase I want to make here. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you got a lot of good ideas. If you did, then give this video a thumbs up. A little sneak peek of what I am working on in the next couple of weeks. But if you're not subscribed already, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you soon.